from IIT Madras. We had Professor Krishnan Balasubramaniam kick it off. Then most recently, we had Professor B. Ravindran of Computer Science and Professor T. Pradeep of Chemistry talk to us about their fantastic work. In between, we had Professor Manindra Agarwal of IIT Kanpur, the famous Sutra model of COVID prediction. That was also done. So all these are available on the club site as recorded Zoom presentations. If you haven't seen that, I strongly recommend it. Then Gopal kicked off the startup of the month, which we pick an interesting startup, ideally from the IIT Madras ecosystem. And that's now caught on. The IIT Madras incubator is now giving us one startup every month. So that's a nice lecture series as well. We've had a fun session or a general session, everything from monuments in and around Tamil Nadu, which the CEO of Story Trails presented to us, to memories of the 1971 Bangladesh war. My dad did that about a month ago. And all kinds of bibliothèque sessions, iTunes music sessions, and so on and so forth. And then we've also had Voices of Excellence, where we've had really eminent people. We've had interviewed Chris Gopalakrishnan, CEO of former CEO and founder of Infosys, N. Lakshmi Narayanan, founder and CEO of Cognizant. We've had, of course, Professor Ashok Jhunjhunwala and Professor Bhaskar Ramamurthy talk to us on that. And just to give you a little bit of preview, I'm angling for Mr. Ramdurai Padma Bhushan and former CEO of TCS to come and speak to us in March, and so on. So it's an interesting series. We'll try to do as many as possible here. This is the second quiz to be done physically. So thank you for showing up in good numbers. We had Ashwin do the first physical quiz here about 3 months ago. And before that, Meenakshi did the first inaugural quiz, which was online. Both those are available on the Zoom recording. So this one also, I'm Zoom recording it. And so for the rest of the folks who didn't get a chance to come here, we'll hopefully have them participate. So I will need a volunteer to pass the mic around. So I'm going to grab this mic. Oh, there is a mic there. Okay. If you want, okay, one mic should be enough. I'll keep this mic there. Super. Any questions? The quiz is just fun. Don't worry about too many rules and passing left, right. I'll try to go. I'll read out the question. Anybody in any table can raise your hand. We'll get the mic to you. Give it a try. More people can try. Any order. It doesn't matter if it's wrong. And we will hopefully have a good time. Okay. Questions? Doubts? All right. Let's go. Okay, question number 1 coming up. Okay, this was initially, this meeting is being live streamed. We don't want that. The problem is that I'm not. Huh? I know, but this. Yeah. But the thing is that with Mac, there are multiple screens, and I don't know which screen that thing is coming. So let me do this. This has to go away. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to displays, settings. Yeah. Still there? Okay, so why don't I do this for now? Get rid of it. Sometimes all problems need not be solved with software. Okay, so now I go back here. So we have to share the screen. Yeah. This more. Okay. Okay, you have enabled. Yeah. Okay. So Murphy's law strikes. Now I had to do a hardware removal of the main screen, get it back again, do all kinds of stuff. So we are off the air. So while we are waiting for all that and the virtual audience can wait for itself, why don't we just do a quick round of intro? So Gopal, stable. Mike, please. Arna and Madhav, welcome. Thank you, Gopal. All right, next, we'll go there.
Just promote Monologue here. Some of them is yeah, and that's very good.
Super. Okay, Mohan.
1976.
Hi, Mohan. Super, Mohan, welcome.
I am Nita Dadari. This is my son Roshan, and he actually conducted one of the quizzes that it was non-COVID.
Okay, great, welcome. Okay, so this can move away. Yeah. Hi, Raghu. Hi, Raghu. Your table mate. Mali, hi. Hey, Ashwin.
Current IT mark pressure.
Super. Hey, Ramnath.
Ananth's dad and mom.
Super, Murli. Good to see you.
Vijay is my dad.
And what do you do? You're in school. Okay. So I would call you a future member of the alumni clubs. Okay. Super. Welcome all. And we're going to have fun. So now question number 1, ready to roll. Can you all see this? If you can't see it, you can come up front. There are some slides which have got some really fine print, just old Quizmasters tricks and so on. So this initiative was called the Protector Initiative, right? And it was intended to defend the earth against massive imminent threats by employing people with extraordinary powers. Okay, I'm going to give this to youth, youngest first. Protector Initiative. Superman, right genre, but not quite. Next youngest. The super soldiers of Captain America. Looking for a better answer. Next youngest. Shield, no. Avengers is the answer I was looking for. So the story is this, that you all should watch Avengers movies and what they call the cut scenes at the end, right? So in the last but one Avenger movie, Captain Marvel, this screen pops up for about 30 seconds. One that you see on the left. This is supposedly the first draft of the, what later became the Avengers Initiative, and Nick Fury, the hero of Shield was kind of right, was writing this up. So he typed it up as Protector Initiative. Bonus points for why did he change it to the Avengers Initiative? Any idea? It was originally called Protectors Initiative. Why did Nick Fury, and you can see that in the cutscene. So you can go back and see it if you want. Yeah. He was attacked by aliens, so he changed it to Avengers. No. Yeah.
In the first Avengers movie, Tony Stark threatens Loki and says, "So we call ourselves the Avengers, and we Avengers, we Avengers the Earth." So that's when it changed.
That's when it changed. No. Any other guess, ma'am? You are the original correct answerer. So.
I think it's because
Coulson was murdered in the Avengers first movie, which was 2008. This is a 2020 backstory, front story, typical whatever. Okay, so I'll give you the answer. So apparently, why he changed it to the Avengers is that Captain Marvel. Anybody remember who Captain Marvel is? She is Captain Carol Danvers. Okay, Captain Marvel is not a man. Captain Marvel is a woman. Okay, Captain Marvel's nickname was Avenger. So her aeroplane was whatever, Carol Avenger Danvers. So he looked at that and then he changed the name of the initiative. You can see him retyping Protector into Avenger. So if you're a die-hard Marvel fan, you'll get it. Now then officially it became Shield's Avengers Initiative. The Shield part is correct. Okay, so hopefully we learned something about the Marvel universe. Okay. All right, so this is an iconic movie dialogue. Actually, it's a monologue. It's spoken by exactly one actor. And I'm going to read it out the best I can manage. It goes, I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5? Well, to tell you the truth, in all this excitement, I kind of lost track myself. But this being a .44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, and would blow your head clean off, you got to ask yourself one question. What is that one question? Bonus points for any other story you can tell. Youngest first, yeah. Go ahead. Mike. Do you feel lucky, punk? Any other opinions? Okay, bonus points. Keep going. Who said this?
Clint Eastwood and Dirty Harry.
Clint Eastwood, Dirty Harry, absolutely gets it clean off the ground. I'm not going to play the video. It's about this 3-liner goes on for about 4 minutes. Okay, so it's a kind of long thing. Maybe after the quiz, if anybody's interested, we'll play the video again. But this is the most iconic Clint Eastwood line ever. It has been voted in the top 50 most impactful Hollywood dialogues. And the scene is that he's pointing his Magnum .44 at this bad guy and says all that, and says, you got to ask yourself one question, because the bad guy has got a gun in his hand or it's lying just away. So he says, if I have run out of bullets, you can shoot me. But the one question you got to ask yourself is, do you feel lucky? The guy gives up, and then he calls Dirty Harry back and says, I got to know, did you have a bullet in your gun? And then Clint Eastwood pulls the trigger, there are no bullets left in his gun. That scene was picked up in Sholay. Ab tera kya hoga, Kalia? You remember that? And Kalia says, whatever, Sarar, maine aapka namak khaya hai. And then he pulls the trigger, nothing happens. That is inspired by Dirty Harry's Do You Feel Lucky, Punk? Okay, good shot, good one. Clint Eastwood, Dirty Harry. Okay, 3 pictures. I mean, they don't look like a picture. I've deliberately made it look like a single picture. There are actually 3 buildings in this strip. There's one on the left, there's one on the middle, there's one on the right. Please tell me a story which connects all three. You can come closer, you can, the people on Zoom have a cut on you because they can see hopefully this better, but three pictures, there's a building on the left, there's a building in the middle, and a building on the right. They're all somewhat related. This kind of question, young people, is called a connect question. IITians, when we quiz, we used to love these kind of connect questions. So all kinds of stories can be cooked up in all kinds of weird ways. And you can tell a story. It doesn't have to be the right story. We're here to have fun anyway. Okay, so any guesses? Any guesses on what the buildings are? Let's at least start there. Any of the buildings? Raise your hand. The prison in Andaman. Okay, Kalapani prison. That's the first guess. Let's assume it's right. Okay, keep going. The one on the right should not be that difficult. Gateway of India, kind of, but not quite. Wrong city though. Amar Jawan Jyoti, no. Close enough, but not correct. Very close, 200, maybe 300 meters away from Amar Jawan Jyoti. India Gate, no, Amar Jawan Jyoti was in India Gate till it's now moved to the National War Memorial and so on. That's a totally different story. So first one was Kalapani, the prison, Andamans is right. That is the cellular jail in Port Blair. The middle one is a Japanese Shinto temple in Tokyo. The one on the right is not India Gate, not Amar Jawan Jyoti. It is what is called the King George V Cupola. It is on Rajpath. It's between India Gate and National Stadium. Now connect the story. I've told you the three buildings. Something to do with Subhash Chandra Bose. Raghu, same thing, Subhash Chandra Bose. Any other personality guesses? Huh? Veer Savarkar. Okay, you've had Subhash Chandra Bose, Veer Savarkar, some old guys. Okay, any guesses? Why is this in a 2022 quiz? Okay, let's assume for a moment it is Subhash Chandra Bose. What's the final connect? Why cellular jail? Why? Okay, so he went there. Okay, that's like a logical IITian connection. Where? His ashes are there in the Shinto temple. The Renkoji temple is where Netaji's ashes are. Okay. He was imprisoned in cellular jail. Okay. And his statue is there. It's not there. It's empty right now. Has been put. His hologram was set up in the right one. So we've got two rights. We have got Renkoji temple has his ashes and his hologram was unveiled just a few weeks ago as part of the 75th anniversary kickoff celebration. That a statue will come there. A hologram was presented there. Cellular jail is important because it's the only part of Indian territory which was liberated by the Indian National Army, INA, which Subhash Chandra Bose led, and the flag of the Indian National Army was unfurled at cellular jail by Bose. Because Japanese had taken over Andaman Islands during the war, and that was the only part of territory, other than a small piece in Kohima and in Manipur, which they occupied. This was the only other piece. The INA actually unfurled the flag of Free India at the cellular jail. So that's the picture. Renkoji is correct, Raghu, and that is the hologram, as you can see, which was unveiled by the PM, etc., etc. So this connect is Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, and all the rest of the stories. Hopefully you like. Hey, clap for the quizmaster, man. Okay, now this is for, I'm going to go in reverse order. The older people get a crack at this. connect. There are three people involved in these two sentences. Who am I, a mere prime minister, before a queen of music? MS Subbulakshmi. And the third line? Nehru said this to Lata Mangeshkar. Which song did she sing? "Ye Mere Watan Ke Logo." That's exactly correct. So the 60s and the 30s generation kind of cracked this. This is Nehru telling MS Subbulakshmi. Apparently, this was the photograph which was taken at that concert, saying that, who am I, a mere prime minister? You are a queen. You are the queen of music. Somewhere in the 1950s, and that is Lata singing "Ye Mere Watan Ke Logo" at the Red Fort at a rally which was organized to raise funds after the 62 defeat. And Nehru, I can't see him crying, but apparently he is crying at that song. So, and then later he told Lata that "Beti tumne mujhe rula diya." So that was great stuff. Nehru, MS Subbulakshmi, and Lata Mangeshkar. Fantastic. All right, now let's change gear to the semi-modern IITian. There are a lot of IITian quizzers here from the 80s, 90s, O's. It's a very techie kind of a question. There are two works of art. There's one on the left, there's one on the right. What is unique about these two works of art? This is a real laga funda kind of a question. I had to do a fair bit of research. Yeah. They look the same, whichever direction you look at it from. So I'm looking at it from here. That first one looks like some golf ball. This bearded dude looks like a bearded dude. He's got something in his hand as well. If you notice, there is kind of some ball in his hand. This is also a ball. So you have to really laga IITian funda in this. And again, ask yourself the question, why 2022 is this question being asked? Okay, youngest, let's go. Something to do with NFT. What to do with NFT? Why don't you give him the mic? He's coming up with some real funda. Good to see school kids lagawing funda these days. Yeah, go ahead.
Something to do with the first NFTs.
These were the first NFTs, is it? So which was the first? Both of them couldn't have been the first. The Jesus, the dude is Jesus, is it? Okay. And the ball? You don't know. Okay. So fun. The fun part of funda is okay. The da is to be done. All right. Some more quizzing talent from this intellectual crowd. So I'm not saying you're right or wrong, but let somebody build on it. Anybody wants to log out stuff? Two works of art. I found it hard to believe that the one on the left was actually a work of art, but apparently it is. The one on the right kind of looks like a work of art that you'll go to a museum and pay 30 euros to look at and so on. Okay, any guesses? So Quizmaster's question. These are the most expensive NFT. So you're right. The one on the left is actually a non-fungible token piece of art, which is very unique. If you're interested in knowing what an NFT is a digital only something, piece of art, piece of music, cartoon, scribble, even this video recording could be an NFT if somebody wants to make it. It's a digital only piece of something which is unique, and it can be sold exactly to the number of people who bid for it, and they have an authentic blockchain based certificate to say that I own this. So this is the one on the left. It's called the merge. It is worth $91.8 million. 28,000 people bid for it, and all of them own a share. So it is 91.8 divided by 28,000. They own a piece of merge. So they can then display it with an authentic certificate and say, I am a part owner of the merge. Okay. So NFTs are being sold. I mean, if I do an NFT, somebody might not even pay anything for it. But apparently somebody paid $91.8 million for this. The one on the right, you're right, it is Jesus Christ. This is the most famous Salvator Mundi painting. It's the most expensive conventional piece of art ever sold, right? Which is, he's actually got that globe in his hand is the world. Salvator Mundi, it literally means savior of the world. So this was sold for $450.3 million. It's still the most expensive painting ever sold. Mona Lisa is insured for about 800 million, but it's never been officially sold. It's been stolen once or twice, but never sold. So on record, this is the most expensive conventional painting. The one on the left is the most expensive digital piece of art. So if anybody wants to pay whatever big money, do it. And guys, if ever you draw anything, make it an NFT. You never know. Okay? Put it and auction it. Somebody will pay big money for it. Okay, another connect. This is a generic one. Multiple things. There is some music song sheet on the left. There are 4 musical instruments on the right. Tell me a story. Connect 5 things with one story. So if some of you want to actually come and see, if you come really close, you can see the words of the song. It says song for 2 voices, something, something. And you can come and read the words if you want. And if you are a real boss, which I'm not, you can probably even sing it because the entire notation is here. The ones on the right are some musical instruments. See, when I was on the IIT quiz team, the music round used to be somebody else's job. That was not my area at all. And if that guy was unwell or off color, I had 2 standard answers. I will say Ustad Amjad Ali Khan or Kishore Kumar and pray. Okay, so my music knowledge is not great. This was done with somebody's help. I'll come to that story later. So connect the stories. Older people might actually have a better crack at it. So I'm going to keep the young people off the hook on this one. No, it'll get better as it comes. Yeah. Microphone.
Is it Ustad Amjad Ali Khan?
Amjad Ali Khan has nothing to do with any of them. Okay, that much I can tell you. Can you get the mic here? Yeah, go ahead.
Instruments that originated in the West and
Ultimately came to India. Can you build on that? Grammy Award. So Grammy Award, Western music, kind of. Indian artist Vikku Vinayakaram and so on. So that was a song that he played, but Vikku didn't play any of these instruments even in my limited music knowledge. Shakti, the band, the fusion band. No, they didn't have anything to do with this. Okay. iPhone ringtones. No. Okay, let me bounce this as a Quizmaster's question. The song on the left is, the answer that you gave is kind of right, but more specifically, they're all Western music influence on Carnatic music. Okay, so IIT Alumni Clubs, Chennai, right? So this had been Delhi, we would have said Indian. So the first one, which I had no clue, so my daughter is doing a PhD on Muthuswami Dikshidhar. So Muthuswami Dikshidhar, in the era that he lived in, early 18 to mid 1800s, in order to be nice to his dorais, the bosses, the white men, he apparently composed a whole genre of classical Carnatic music called Notuvadyams now I'm completely off my territory, but he apparently composed that one song on God Save the King. The song that you saw is the noting sheet for God Save the King. So there is a full-fledged Muthuswami Dikshita Kriti, which I have no idea what that song is, which is based exactly on the tune of God Save the King. Okay, so if you're really interested, I have the answer written down somewhere. We will figure it out. All the others are Western music instruments. First is mandolin with Mandolin Srinivas. Then the second picture is morsing and violin, morsing sai with L. Subramaniam. The Jew's harp, as it is called. That one, the bottom picture is the morsing. The first on top is mandolin, violin, of course. And there are a whole bunch of famous violins, Lal Gudi and L. Subramaniam, of course, T. N. Krishnan, Kunnakudi, Chowdeya, and so on. And then the last one is my son-in-law, Keyboard Satya, who is the only player on the keyboard for Carnatic music. So it is a Carnatic music Western instrument group with Notuvadyam on the left. So I had to thank my daughter and son-in-law for this question. So, and okay, this is hot off the press. There are two pictures here. Actually, there are 6 things on the 2 pictures, but there's a group of things on the left, 3 things, a group of 3 things on the right. Both are winning designs. Both were global competitions. The one on the left, which is 3 angles of the same thing, was picked from 300 entries and is called Cloud of Promises. The one on the right was again a global competition. 182 people competed in it. And finally, this one, which is called Fire, Ice and Clouds, was declared the winner. So Fire, Ice and Clouds on the left and Cloud of Promises on the left. Tell me a story which connects these two. Globally winning champion designs. Something on the left, which you can see, it looks like a danda of some sort with some red and brown and white and so on. The right side is kind of more funky, metallic with red and some twisty things, etc., etc. What is the thing on the left? What is the thing on the right? And is there a common story?
It's like a carpet and a drill bit.
A carpet and a drill bit, engineering to the fore. So mechanical engineer, workshop, which I used to hate. Thankfully, physics people didn't have to do workshop, but any other? So drill bit and carpet. Why in this quiz? Why in 2022? Yeah.
There's the winning designs of the Dubai Expo 2020, which is currently being built.
The winning design of the Dubai Expo 2020, which is running today in 2022. But why 2? Both are winning designs, but the first one is one competition, the second one is another competition. So what is the story?
One is best design by a man, one is best design by a woman.
So which one is man, which one is woman? I'm just kidding you.
Left man, right.
Okay, sorry. Dubai is a good guess. It has something to do with 2022, but not the Dubai Expo. Qatar World Cup is later in the year. So what about the Qatar World Cup? Winter Olympics. So Mali, guys, an NIT Trichy guy is winning this. So the story is this. Go NIT Trichy Mali. So the story is this. Both are the Olympic torches. The one on the left was designed by Lenovo for the 2008 Beijing Olympics. The one on the right is the Olympic torch. Both are Olympic torches, by the way, right? Not the logo, etc. Both were Olympic torches. 2008 torch, 2022 torch. Beijing is the only country which has done both summer and winter Olympics. So that is why Fire, Ice and Clouds and Cloud of Promises. Okay. And this picture that you see was in all over the TV and the press and the Indian media. Why? Because this is the Doklam colonel on the Chinese side. There was a huge controversy that, why was he allowed to carry the torch, and the Indian ambassador boycotted the Olympics and all that. So that is where I saw the torch and I kind of connected this. But great stuff, Mali. Super. Okay, another connect. 3 pictures, 3 ladies. What's the common story? Obviously, something to do with tennis, because the 2 of them are kind of playing tennis. But what's the story? Yeah. Okay, what about the lady on the left, the lady on the right? So, I'm sorry? Who? Which one? All are Aboriginal women to win a Grand Slam. 2 won the Australian Open. The one on the left and the one on the right went and won something else. Okay, let me hold that. Any other? Which one is Billie Jean King? The violet top is Billie Jean King. Okay, and then? All of them are Grand Slam winners. Okay. Kind of, we will. Any other thoughts? They're kind of getting there, but I'm looking for one story. They are the only Australian women to win the Australian Open in the Open era. So that's Margaret Court Smith, who won in 69, 71, 69, 70, 71, 74. Yvonne Goolagong-Cawley is right. It's not Billie Jean King, it's Yvonne Goolagong-Cawley. She won in 74, 75, 76, 77. Christine O'Neill won in 78. This came in the news because Goolagong-Cawley gave the AO trophy to Ashley Barty this year, and everybody was all over the place saying there is the first Australian woman to have won it after Christine O'Neill in 78. 44 years later, so Indian Open, if at all some Indian woman wins it, we'll have to figure out who's going to give the prize to who. But good guess, it is Grand Slam winners. They're not all Aboriginal. Only the middle 2 are Aboriginal. The others are conventional, non-Aboriginal white Australians, but they all are Grand Slam winners from Australia. Super. Now this is for the cricket fans. This one, those of you who are deeply interested will have to actually come and read the scorecard. Right? I apologize, or you can see it on the screen. It's a little better. I debated how to actually do this. So I'm going to tell you, for those of you who can't come and see, I'm going to read off the scorecard. So the scorecard goes like this. It says Percy Holmes, bold Nisar for 6. Herbert Sutcliffe, bold Nisar for 3. Frank Woolley, run out 9. Wally Hammond, bold Amar Singh, 35. Douglas Jardine, captain. Cott Navle, wicketkeeper, bold Naidu, 79. Eddie Painter, LBW Naidu, 14. Super. First test match that India played. This was played at Lord's. We lost in 3 days, 158 by 158 runs. The picture on the right is a very rare one, which is the Indian cricket team, the first and inaugural Indian Test cricket team, led by the two Maharajas in the middle. Maharaja Porbandar graciously captained the team, but Naidu was the actual captain, C.K. Naidu. And this was known, this test match was great because if you read the scorecard, England was the top test team in that era, 1932. Right? And this was the first time India were playing, and England were 19 for 3 at Lord's. Right? Nisar took 2 wickets, Amar Singh took 1 more, and Woolley was run out, and this was like shocking. It was like, so what's the appropriate in modern cricket team? I don't know, but whoever doesn't feel offended, but it's like them playing against New Zealand or Australia, and they are 19 for 3 in no time at all. Right? So that was why, but then we of course lost and so on. But it was a landmark test match, India's first test match. Super. This one, long quotation. This is actually not a quotation. This was written in a press article. I want to know who wrote this and in what context. So I'll read it out. I must confess ignorance of these matches and the etiquette governing them. My opinion must therefore be taken as of a layman knowing nothing about such sports and the special rules. But I must confess that my sympathies are wholly with those who would like to see these matches stopped. I express this opinion not merely as a satyagrahi, desirous of getting public support one way or the other for the movement, but I would discountenance such amusements at a time when the whole of the thinking world should be mourning over a war that is threatening the stable life of Europe and its civilization and bids fair to overwhelm Asia. Incidentally, I would like the public of Bombay to revise their sporting code and erase from it communal matches and decide once and for all upon banishing communal taints from the sporting world, and also decide upon banishing these sports from our life whilst the bloodbath is going on. Long press article. Contextually, I'd just like to highlight a few things. The person says, I don't know anything about sport and the special etiquette. Sympathies are to stop some match. Why? Because there's a war going on and he's a satyagrahi. And by the way, he says this is all communal stuff, so please don't do such things. Yeah.
About the pentacular Christians versus Sikhs.
Fantastic. This is Mahatma Gandhi about the Pentangular cricket tournament in Bombay. This was the Pentangular, the famous, it was a quadrangular before, and then they had to add the rest because people like Christians and others said, we are not Parsi, we are not Hindu, we are not Muslim, we are not Europeans. So they made it a Pentangular. 1940 was the year because the war was going on. This was December 1940. And this was published in the Times of India, right? So Mr. Gandhi, when he spoke against the Pentangular, obviously the 1940 Pentangular didn't stop. And by 1945, it sort of petered off and was fully replaced by the Ranji Trophy. The big controversy in the 30s and the 40s to say, why should we have a Parsi versus this versus that? But it was an extraordinarily popular cricket tournament, no doubt. In Bombay, even today, when you drive on Marine Drive, just after you cross the southern part, and there is this famous flyover which comes and joins. On the right side, you see Parsi Gymkhana, Hindu Gymkhana, Muslim Gymkhana. Those grounds were where the Pentangular used to play, and the famous Bombay Gymkhana, which is the sort of IIT club of Bombay, right? So that is where the finals were always held because that was European Gymkhana, only Europeans, right? So one of those relics of the past. So it's about the Pentangular. Great answer. Super. Okay, so another famous test match. There are two landmark scorecards. Again, fine print. I'm going to read them out to you. One on the left is Ashok Mankad, caught substitute, bowled Barrett 29. Sunil Gavaskar, not out 67. Salim Durrani, bowled Barrett 0. Dilip Sardesai, caught Findlay, bowled Barrett 3. Syed Abid Ali, not out 21. The bowlers are Vanburn Holder, Grayson Shillingford, Gary Sobers, Jackson Norega, and Arthur Bell. So 1971 Port of Spain, India versus West Indies, what?
India won a series in West Indies.
Okay, what about the one on the right? Sunil Gavaskar, LBW Snow, 0. Ashok Mankad, Cod Hutton. India drew the series. No, Mali. India won the series at the Oval, and India won the series in the West Indies. Both were 1-0 victories. These are the winning fourth innings India batting. Both of them had Abid Ali at the middle when the winning runs were scored. In one, he was a striker in the Oval where he hit the boundary. In the other, Gavaskar hit the boundary and Abid Ali was a non-striker. And Vadekar, of course, was the captain of both. So those are the three common pieces. 5 other players played in both the winning thing. This was like the most winningest part of India's test history. First, double overseas tour victories, series victories. We had won test matches overseas before, but never won a series in the West Indies, never won a series in England. This is the first time. Both happened in 71, within a few months of each other, March and August. So great stuff. I had to really dig up Abid Ali's photograph. You won't believe it. Abid Ali's recent photographs are all over the web, but Abid Ali, the way he looked like when I remember this test match happened, I had to really dig up. Vadekar is, of course, there everywhere. Last one. This one is a famous one-day match. I'll read the scorecard for those of you in the back. Sunil Gavaskar, LBW, bowled Rawson 0. Chris Srikanth caught Butchart, bowled Karan 0. Mohinder Amarnath caught Houghton, bowled Rawson 5. Sandeep Patil caught Houghton. Okay, so this is great. All of you know your cricket very well. This is the famous 17 for 5 scorecard. And after this man scored 175, right? And you can see the first 5 guys is 0, 0, 5, 1, 9. There is a not out 175, Roger Binney 22, Ravi Shastri 1, Madan Lal 17, Syed Kirmani not out 24, India 266 for 8, India won by 31 runs. So those of you who are brave enough to go see 83, the movie, because this match was never telecast because BBC was on strike. Right? So this one, you can actually see the virtual version of it in the movie. And you still feel like standing up and cheering for the fake Kapil Dev and the fake Indian team. Great story. So this is the famous one-day escape. And then, of course, we went on to win the 83 World Cup. So 17 for 5, not a good story. Okay. These are 2 pictures of 2 different churches. Let me give you that clue in Europe. The one on the left has hangings, chandeliers, and so on. And though even from the back, I think you should be able to see they're all human bones. There's skulls, there are femurs, there is all kinds of vertebral columns and so on. And it's a regular church. I mean, as you can see, it's my daughter in the foreground going on. The one on the right is similar. It seems to be much bigger, but all those things in the back are actually human bones. What are these called? This is fairly common in Europe, by the way. I'm just looking for a word which connects these 2 kinds of things that you may have seen in Europe. Is it a gargoyle? Gargoyles are statues of fictitious beings. No, these are human bones. And why would they do this? This you can log off and down. Enemies who conquer, so you beat them up and sort of string them up in your church. Okay, one bloodthirsty answer from the front. Any others? Okay, so Quizmaster's question. So let's go. So these are called ossuaries. These are human bones. They do this periodically when the graveyard is full. They'll go dig up everything and decorate the church with, this is this guy from whichever 1750 and so on, and who cares? And these are big tourist attractions. The one on the left is in Putna Hora, about an hour's drive from Prague. And it's the most heavily marketed church in the Czech Republic. You go to Prague airport, you will get guys saying Putna Hora, Putna Hora. It's the most visited site in Prague, in and around Prague. The one on the right is the largest ossuary. It is a church called St. Ursula's in Cologne. So if ever you have time in any of these places, go look at it. It's a little stomach churny, but everybody has their own taste. All right. Another European-ish story. These started very innocently, sometimes in the middle of cities, and then they quickly morphed into something really terrible. As you can see, there is a steel gate, there is something written in German, people everywhere. What are we talking about? Yeah. Concentration camps. And what is Arbeit Mark 3? Fantastic. Arbeit means work. Work will make you free. So they started as political prisoner camps. The one on the left is the first one, Dachau, which is actually just about 5 miles, 8 miles from the heart of Munich. It's in a nice residential area, Bessenagar, some place. And it was a concentration camp. And it became the first role model concentration camp for killing of undesirable people. And then that was a final network all over the place. The ones on the red were the so-called death camps. As you notice, the ones in Germany were not the real problem. The ones in Poland were where the actual factory of Ashwin and so on. They were the real ones which were the same. But great answer, concentration camp. Yeah. No comment. Actually, when I went back to my hostel room in Aravali about 12 years ago, I was like zapped. I said, I lived here. Yeah. No, the first year rooms, which were 2-seaters, are now 3-seaters. And you're right, 2 people to a single-seater room. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I'm not surprised on Ashwin's comment. Okay, this site, and kids, you may like to come closer and see this. This is a real site. Okay, it has got some funny looking things. If you go Google it or look at it in TripAdvisor, it says 4 stars, thumbs up. You must go see it. Come closer. What is this site? Android operating system, Nougat, KitKat. Yeah, Mohan. Android, okay. Okay, the 3 of you can share all those goodies. These are actually, this is a famous Android Park. It's in the Google campus in Mountain View, and that's the street address if you want to do it. All versions of Google before 2019, for 2019 they stopped because of COVID, many other things. All versions of Google Android have a name. So a KitKat, for example, or ice cream. Where is the ice cream one? There it is, ice cream cake. All right, lollipop, jelly bean, donut, all of them are Android versions. You can go stand there, take pictures. What brilliant publicity for Google. And it's free, and you don't have to pay anything. Okay, so kids, ask Tata Party to take you to this and take pictures here. Okay, Madras question. 2 Madras questions, by the way, to kind of wrap things up. If you explain to someone in Madras in 1909 that you wanted to go to T Nagar or Mahalingam, she would think that, what the hell are you saying? Okay, one at a time. Gopal. Mike, sir. They were lakes and didn't exist. Gopal gets this. So both were lakes. What is T Nagar today was called Long Tank, and what is Mahalingam today was called Nungambakam Tank. And as you can see in the map that I dug up, that blue thing, everything to the west of Mount Road was a lake. And that was Chengalpet district. So all of Mambalam, West Mambalam, Ashok Nagar was all rural area, Chengalpet district, some rice fields and all that. And there was a lone road which was going and joining the Mount Road near St. Thomas Mount. So if you said, I want to go to T Nagar, so T Nagar was actually, the first lake was Long Tank, which was drained in 1923. And then Tyagaraja Nagar, which was, by the way, modeled on Paris. You know, the layout and the roads and all the confusing circles and radials, diagonals and all that is supposedly the Paris, you know, first arrondissement and the second and the third kind of thing. It's still very confusing. And then that is why there is a lake, what is that road called? Lakeview Road near the SDAT Stadium even today in Mahalingam. Super, great one, Gopal. Thank you. 2 famous buildings. Clue, they are both in Chennai. What is the connect, other than the fact that they're both in Chennai? So civil engineers would, this is your time to shine. So there's a funny sort of, it looks like a Boeing 747 on the left and some cup and saucer on the right. What are these 2 buildings? Why are they famous? Why are they in a IIT Alumni Club Chennai quiz? Other than Ashwin, any civil engineers here? So tough one. Both were designed by Hafiz Contractor. Both were designed, no, not designed. The one on the left was designed by an Uruguayan architect. The one on the right, both are TCS offices. No. Good guess. One of them is by. Okay, since we are in guessing territory, the one on the left is the TCS Siriseri campus. That was designed by what's the guy's name? Carlos Ponce de Leon. And the one on the right is the L&T campus, just after Mayot Hospital on the left on Punamalli High Road, Manapakam. Both are built by L&T ECC. Right? The one on the right is actually the L&T ECC headquarters. And the reason why that one is famous is, and Ashwin, you got to help me here. It's a cup and saucer design. So there is that white plate that you see is actually off the ground, about 10 feet off the ground, and there is a small stem. What do you call it? I mean, physics guys trying to explain civil is useless. So
I don't know what you call it. It takes the load that transmits.
yeah, exactly. It just transmits the load on that single pillar, and it just floats on that saucer, right? So that's why this is unique. This one is called the butterfly building. It's all kinds of, it's got more steel than Eiffel Tower is what we tell all visitors. Both were built by L&T ECC. Both are in Chennai. Okay, last one is a sneaky one. So the Intel 4004 was a landmark achievement, right? So you see a replica of the Intel 4004 chip, right? It was the first ever microprocessor, 4-bit microprocessor built anywhere in the world. Ted Hoff and his team at Intel built it in 1972. And it was a precursor of many microprocessors. 4-bit became 8-bit, 8-bit became 16-bit. Now we have 64 bits, etc., etc. So that is how the whole story started. That's a letter, by the way, from the Intel CEO to me, etc., etc., saying that the landmark achievement and all that. So when I took this picture, I sent it to the Aravali Hostel and IIT Delhi quiz team of 86, 87. Because we had called ourselves 4004. Okay. So why did we call ourselves 4004? Sneaky question, nothing to do with quiz. Just lagao funda, that's enough. And it's the last question in the quiz. Four people from the fourth year. So 4004. Okay. Nice guess. Kind of mid-80s funda. So Mali is same generations. 86 and x86 architecture. So that's why we need to call ourselves a chip team. Good one. So we're kind of getting there. So let's conclude with that. There were 4 of us. Each of us knew a bit. So 4 bits, x86 architecture. So 4-bit x86 architecture, 4004. So that was the reason, and those are the 4 guys. So that is Jay Chugani, Jay Ramchandran, myself, and Hariharan Ramesh. And we are not all 4th year. Ramesh was the first year. He made the institute team in his first year, and he stayed on for the rest of us all, of course, were this thing. So this was the second quiz team I was on. This was when I was in MTech, so I was probably the only PG to get into it. Oh, I have one more. Sorry. I think I have 2 more. So this photo of Lord Pethick Lawrence and Mahatma Gandhi, taken on April 18th, etc., is significant even today. Why? Go. Fantastic. So this is a famous currency note photograph. So the straight image is also used, the mirror image is also used, and this was the photograph which the Reserve Bank of India uses till today to represent the Mahatma Gandhi face in Indian currency notes. Great stuff. This is a suitable modern TV-ish question. And this is from the Bala Vidya Mandir 2018, whatever they call it, quiz. My son contributed this, so there's been a family effort to put it together. So X is the word that I'm looking for. It's a genus of rhizostome jellyfish of X. reiki, found in Australia. It's also a 7-string harp, blah, blah, blah. Euglossia X is the bee species. And X supposedly means fooled you. You watch a lot of television. So yes, this is the famous Bazinga. So that's why I wanted to end on this note, Bazinga. Right. So by the way, for those of you who have no idea what this is all about, you should watch Big Bang Theory. This is Sheldon Cooper, and his famous word, I mean, he's a nerd, he does many things. And when he fools you, he says, Bazinga. Okay. Oh, okay. My son has added a few more. So we want one more? Are you okay? Dinner is ready? Where is Sindhil? Okay, I assume that dinner is ready, but we'll do as many as we keep click. So he was born in 57 into a billionaire family, close ties to royalty, reputedly had a civil engineering degree, and also later on did economics and business administration. He liked football, Arsenal fan. Okay. Osama bin Laden was all of that. Nobody knows really whether, 10 minutes more. Okay, so I hope I have more questions. Okay. So bin Laden was reputedly had a civil engineering degree. Some people say he never graduated. He apparently did economics and business administration. So all of that. And then the Oscar-winning movie on his killing was Zero Dark 30, right? So that is where everybody figured out that his Arabic pronunciation is actually Usama, not Osama. So that's the end of the quiz. Thank you very much, and hopefully you liked it. Since we have some minutes left, anybody wants to watch Dirty Harry? Please, I can play it. Otherwise, we can all have fun. Like the quiz? Learned something? Hi. Just give me 1 second.
Thank you so much. Secretary.
All good.
And then it's 5 times they cancel.
Yeah.
Finally, I did that how to go. Finally, support you. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Hola, Nana.